Boxing fans and fanatics, what's going on? Tonight is the night. Probably the greatest welterweight fight of our generation. Maybe the greatest fight of our generation. We'll see what happens. Terrence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence, Errol the True Spence. Somebody's O has got to go. And I'm going to break it down. All right. So, here's what I see. Studied a couple fights on both of them. It's a close matchup. This is a real close one. It's going to come down to who can implement their game plan. Now, I'll start with Spence. Okay, Spence is the heavy-handed jab-first southpaw with good defense. Not great defense, but good defense. I saw in the Kell Brook fight where he was getting picked off a lot on his jab. Why? Because he's shooting his jab from too far away, okay? The distance on the jab for him is going to be key. He doesn't want to fire the jab. Okay, in boxing we have, and let me set this down, kind of give an example if I can. This might help in perspective a little bit, okay? You can't really see my feet, but when you jab, most of us are taught to step to the jab, okay? You step with the jab. Well, at the top levels, that step takes time. And if he creates too much, if there's too much different distance between him and Crawford to where he has to step to that jab, I think he's going to get picked off and he's going to start falling behind and possibly get knocked out, because the further you have to step, there's more time on that jab. So if you could close the gap with head movement, feints, set your opponent up to where you don't have to step, you're close enough to land the jab, bam! That's a lot quicker than that, okay? I think that's a key in this fight. The distance on the jab. For Spence. Also for Crawford, but Crawford's a wait-and-see type fighter. He feels his opponent's out. He's more reactive, a lot more reactive in his approach and in his game plan. He's going to feed off of what Spence does, and he's going to try to counter it with all the skills that he has. He's got tremendous skills. He can switch southpaw, orthodox. He's an excellent counter puncher with good speed, precision, timing, accuracy, and he hits very hard when he does it. He counters with good flush shots. We saw him knock out Sean Porter. We've seen him knock out the works. Okay, the list goes on. Yuriokis Gamboa. Now, both guys have grown over the years. They've both developed a lot. Okay, Spence has fixed a lot of these problems. I saw in the Porter fight, he was given a lot more feints and setting that jab up a lot more. Now, Porter's a jerky fighter, so Porter's in and out a lot. Okay, and those guys are hard to really measure in time. So Porter's giving a lot of movement and then just leaping with shots. So when he's leaping in, it's hard to time that. Crawford's not really a leapy type fighter. Crawford's a methodical guy, but he's also a gap fighter. He's kind of a gap fighter to where he keeps a gap between him and his opponent. He's gonna pull and punch. Okay, that pull is huge. Crawford has a better back foot. Okay, he pulls better than Spence does, which could account in the fight. Okay, if Spence can't pull back quick enough, he's gonna take shots when Crawford starts attacking. The thing about that is Crawford doesn't attack early, and he's not aggressive until he needs to be aggressive. And if he's got a jab on him all night, an effective jab that's backing him up and giving him trouble, it's going to be hard for him to find chances to attack this guy. So Crawford has to create distance. He has to use his jab. Crawford has a great jab as well. I don't think it's as hard as Spence's. I don't think it's not the type of jab that backs you up the way that Spence's does. I mean, it'll back you up, but like Spence is pushing forward to back you up and get you to freeze so that he can open up in combinations. And if he can set that jab up from the proper distance, from a shorter step or no step at all, he can back Crawford up and put some rounds in the bank. I don't see a stoppage, of course. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be a stoppage in this fight, because that's a matter of guys getting caught, guys taking risks. I think the risks in this fight have to be selective for both guys. All right, you can't go leaping in with a jab and try and just take this guy's head off. That's not going to work. You're going to get picked off. You're going to run into counters, and you will get hurt, and you'll get dropped. I mean, both these guys can punch, and recklessness is not gonna win this fight on either guy's account. Crawford has to use his jab, and then he has to play his gap game. Play the gap game. Leave the gap between him. Force Spence to step to his jab. If Spence has to step to his jab, there's going to be a lot of chances for Crawford to counter. Overhand, uppercut counters, hook counters, because Crawford switched to southpaw right hand, so he's a hard guy to find. He's a hard guy to find with the jab, so Spence is going to have to be methodical as well. His head feints are going to have to be in place. I think feints win or make or break Spence. Okay? Because if he's timing your jab, if he's timing that right there, okay, he's firing over. He's just going to fire left hand. He's a southpaw, of course, so it's going to be left hand right over. Okay, so the levels have to change, the distance has to change, and the feints have to be hard, and they have to work. Okay, put it out. And also, Spence has gotten a lot better at putting it out there. It's a distraction. Distraction of feint. A distraction of feint. Bop, bop. Okay? He has to mix up his attack in those ways. And then he has to move out. Circle out, reestablish the range. Not an easy fight for either guy. Hey, here's my beautiful wife. She could probably sell the video a little more. Say hi. But not an easy fight for either guy. I can't pick a winner. It depends on who comes and does what they're supposed to do. Because I think it's that close. It's that close to where the guy who can do effectively what he does best is probably going to edge it out. And I'm not saying a landslide. This is going to be a close fight, a great fight. And if it's close enough, it will warrant a rematch, which the boxing game wants, of course, because this is big money. This is a huge fight. This is going to sell over 1 million pay-per-views, I'm sure. And it's an exciting night for boxing. I'm glad this fight got made. It needed to get made. The world needs it. The best need to fight the best, and we're getting to see that tonight. Tune in. This is the one you don't want to miss, because this is the best against the best. Somebody Zoe has got to go. Both men are undefeated. Established world champions. And this is what they've fought for their whole career. So let's see what happens. If I was going to give an edge, you know what? I can't even do it, because it's dependent upon who comes out and who can establish a game plan, who can make the other guy fall off his game plan. It's not going to be easy for either guy. I think it's close. We'll see what happens. Talk to me after the fight. Thank you. Merry Christmas.